Alright, we're set up today. We're going to try and do some winter trapping. Toughest time of the freaking year to trap too. You can see here from last week where I drove my truck, where it was just mud, straight mud. Now the ground is frozen solid like concrete again. And that's always a problem for me. So one day it's a soup, the next day it's a concrete. So I had the ATV loaded up here. All sorts of gear. I got dry dirt, I got peat moss, I got bait, I got all the traps and all loaded up on it. So I'm going to put out some traps and see if I can't get this coyote. I haven't been seeing them real often. Maybe once a week, if that. They have a lot of area here to roam. I have seen foxes here too. Of course, I've trapped foxes here in the past. I trapped a lot of fox here, but I'm really aiming for a coyote. Never trapped a coyote. I've seen a coyote 4 times this season in person, not just on camera, but actually in person. It's really cold today. And as my buddy Todd Whitmire said, that we're now in for a very cold ride on an ATV. All right, let's get to it. Oh, you'll have to excuse the wind noise, it is brutal. But now you're gonna see how hard this ground is. I'm gonna punch in this dirt hole. Even with the cut, I'm gonna get down maybe 4 or 5 inches. After that, it gets a little bit softer. There it went. Usually put these in at a pretty decent angle. Twisted to cut the hole out. It's so hard. Here it goes. In there. As you can see, it's coming out in chunks, frozen. It's a pretty nice tool. I know a lot of guys use the drill with the auger bit on it. There's no way you're using that in this dirt. It's like I said, it's frozen solid, but this is a really good tool. I picked up at a sports show a couple years ago. It's got a big nut welded on it. It's basically 1-inch pipe, 1.25-inch pipe, cut to a point. They cut a slot out so you can get the dirt out of it, and then they have a little handle welded into it. Works pretty good. Driving dirt holes. Here's a trap better that I made myself out of exhaust pipe. I had to cut the initial bed for the trap. Another hammer I also made myself. Welded a plate onto the back of it. Alright, let's get our trap. Okay, I'm going to use a Bridger 1 3/4. You see I have it chain direct, and then the Wolf Fang stake. These are freaking great because where I trap is a lot of rock. Even though it's cultivated farmland, that dirt gets packed down real hard. Well, today the ground is frozen, so it's hard to drive stakes. A lot of guys won't use stakes, they'll use drags. They'll set it up with a drag. These traps work really good. The Predator is an offset jaw. These are good. These will catch pretty much anything. They're pretty strong, but I'm hoping it'll hold a coyote. Got double swivels on it. I like not having too much chain loose, so they can't get a lot of force on it to to yank on it. This is night latched, so I'll set the night latch. You'll be able to hear it hopefully if the wind dies down. There it is. They say I have where the pan is set. I have the pan just below the level of the jaws. I have about 4 or 5 pound trap pan tension on that. See how the pan doesn't sit up above the jaw. That way that foot is fully committed into that trap. I also am going to leave the trap a little bit lower than the ground level, so they have to step down into it. That makes them commit too. Then I have the dirt hole forward and just offset of the foot, so I'm aiming for a right foot catch. I don't care if he gets him in the back foot, the left foot, the right foot. I don't care as long as he's in the trap. But that's what we're aiming for. you can offset. I've seen guys use 2 dirt holes where they'll have one for fox that's a little closer to the set, and then they'll have another one a little further from the set for coyote. I don't know if that makes a difference or not. I think if the animal smells something in the hole and he's interested in that smell, whether it be lure or whether, of course, you use bait. You use lure to attract the animal to the hole or to your set, and then you use bait to keep the animal at the set, to work that set. So the more he's walking around there, the more chance he has of stepping in your trap. Of course, that's the obvious part of it. It's not so easy though, trust me, not so easy. I'm going to go over a bunch of channels. If you're new to trapping, I'm going to give a shout out to a bunch of channels that I watch on a regular basis later that will definitely increase your success rate for trapping. Guys that are way more knowledgeable than me at trapping. But let's get this set in the ground here. I'm going to set my anchor, then we're going to make sure the bed for the trap is correct. You do not want it to move. That's the biggest problem. That's the biggest problem is if the animal steps on your trap and it's not bedded correctly and it moves, he steps on the jaw and it moves a little bit, he will not go near that set again. Once he feels something unusual, they'll dig it sometimes too, they'll dig it up. That will also affect you too if you get a coon. Coon will feel that trap move, and of course his little deck-style feet, he's in there digging up your trap and flipping it over. So you want to try and avoid that. Well, let's get this sucker bedded in here. That's good. This might be a bear to get out. See right there now is where you don't want any tip, so now I need to lower it on this side a little bit. Make a solid bed for my jaw all the way around. You don't want it loose. The jaw contact there. So if you push on the trap, see there, it's lifting a little bit. It's not bedded under there. I need a little more dirt under that side. It's hard to bed in frozen ground. A lot of guys that use trapping stakes, what they'll do is they'll bed the loose jawed or trap on the trapping stake. To give it support. Just a matter of, usually you can just push this in with your hand. Unfortunately today I can't do that. I have to use the hammer because it's so frozen. But what I'll do is I'll put a bed underneath it. I've dry dirt, and then I'll put dry dirt over the top of it, and then I'll sift a little bit. I'll put antifreeze on it, and I'll sift a little bit more dirt over the top. You can see that the hole, which I have back a little bit further because I'm primarily aiming for a coyote. And then you can see that this is where the center of my pen is here. I had my little my pen cover on it. It's right here. So that I marked the center where I know where the center of my pen is, but you should always know where the center of your pen. You should be able to pinpoint that. So now I have dry dirt in on it now, and then I'll sift some natural dirt back on the top of it and blend it in. But you can see how it's a little bit lower. Step down dirt hole lower than the ground here, so that makes them commit. All right, let's get it lured up, get it set up. Okay. Ooh, it's cool. Now, you may have noticed I changed gloves. I don't make the set with gloves that I'm going to use to handle bait. You don't want scent contamination, that can be a big problem. If you handle your traps, after you've prepped your traps, if you handle a trap, and I've had this problem before, you can look back on my channel and you'll see a series of videos that I done where I was dealing with a digger fox, and that was the most frustrating thing. Yeah, digger fox or digger canine, very frustrating. If they catch a little bit of scent on that trap, it's new, they're gonna dig at it. They'll dig the edge of it, and then all of a sudden they feel the steel and it's like, oh, what's this? And they dig it out. And they won't go near the set. Or they'll dig it and they'll pee on it, or they'll dig it and they'll defecate on it. And they will not work that set again. They may get another fox in or a coyote in that comes to investigate it, but that can be a real problem. It's so windy. I'm going to bait this set with Caven's Minnesota brand predator bait, and I'm also going to use Caven's Canine Force as a lure. I'm also going to use Gusto. I won't put Gusto at the set, but I'll put it up on the weed here that's behind me. I'll put it on that so it sits up a little bit higher off the ground, and the scent, that way the scent will, that skunky odor will travel far. That's a pretty strong scent. Usually I won't use that in early season. I usually only use it in late season because it's a much stronger odor, so cold suppresses scent. So when it's below freezing all the time, you need a strong scent to carry that, to use that, get that odor to increase your chances. Alright, let's braid up the set. See my dirt hole there. First, it's in the shade of the tree, looks pretty natural, covered with a little bit of regular dirt. One other piece of advice I'll give you is if you're traveling somewhere like here where it's on top of a hill, it's high wind, you want to use a little bit of, if you're using peat moss or dry dirt, which is very light, it will blow away and it will uncover your trap. So always sift a little bit of that heavier dirt back over it, just a little bit, just enough to cover it so it won't blow away. So you see, there's my set. Now I have some Gusto here on the branch. It's up a little higher, close to the set. And then I got some lure and bait down in the dirt hole there. So hopefully Mr. Fox or Mr. Coyote comes along and steps in that set. We will see. Alright, let's move on to the next quick set. This time we're on the crop interchange. This would have been soybean. This is now winter wheat. And this is a cornfield, or what used to be a cornfield. Good intersection point, got a brush in the top. My other set is up here on top of the hill. This one here, quick dirt hole, again, a step down. I use the same trap, except this time it's not offset, it's a regular jaw. And the dirt hole, I have Minnesota red gland lure, red brush curiosity, and Caven's predator bait again. Now, if I turn around here, it goes down into the valley here, so the wood line is here. You can see I'm trapping way away from the edge of the woods. I don't want to attract possum, I don't want to attract coon. I have a trail camera down here. My tree stand actually is down there, one of my stands. And this is the area I've been seeing the coyotes come in and out of a lot. This valley here, there's another big winter wheat field here. This is winter wheat, and it goes into the valley. There's a creek that runs down in behind the valley. And then on the opposite side, there's more farm fields. So I've been seeing the coyotes working along the edge of this field and then coming up through this wheat. But like I said, it could be once in 2 weeks, could be once a week. Sometimes I won't see them for a month. You can see this set looks nice and natural. I used a little tuft of grass here on the, just like I said, it's right on the corner of 3 crop intersections. Corn row runs that way. Soybean field runs up this way. Wheat field runs this way. It's got a nice brush on the corner there. I think a lot of times the animals navigate with the trees. You know, they'll use the trees for navigation, and especially in open territory. But this is pretty natural. We'll see if it connects. You never know. I've never caught a fox late season. Never caught a coyote. I was caught all my foxes before Christmas. I've never caught a fox after Christmas. But we're gonna give it a go. See what happens. Okay, I'm gonna show you here a different type of set. This time we're setting on the edge of the wood line. So I'm not gonna use bait. I'm only gonna use scent. And this is a compass set. Some people might call it a flat set, but the setup is for a flat set. But I'm going to punch holes. There's one here, there's one here, there's one here, if I can see with the sun glare, and there's another one right here. So all I did was use my driver rod and just put. Now I'm going to cover them with like dry grass, but I didn't cover it yet, just to show you. My trap is bedded right in the center. Trap pan is right here. Again, it's the same as a Bridger 175. So like I said, my trail camera is right here. You see in the tree, it's right there. My tree stand is here, and I've been catching pictures of coyotes working along this edge. So this is not a baited set. No dirt hole here. I'm going to put only lure in those holes, no bait, just to get them to stop and maybe work around it and see if he steps his foot there. That's all we want to do. When you trap along the edges of the woods, you always run into issues with trapping coon, trapping grinners, all that fun stuff. A little bit better. There's a lot of leaves and stuff around here. Do not like to put leaves around where my trap is. Leaves can get slick, and if they get caught between the animal's foot and the jaw, they can actually pull their foot out. So used a bit of dry grass that I had, just sifted it over the top of the set and blended it in a little bit of a stepping stick there, and then we'll see if it produces. All right, I'm gonna real quick while I'm out of the wind here a little bit. Look, I made a list. I'm all professional. I made a list of guys that I do watch on a regular basis. Make no mistake, not everybody I watch is on this list. These are only guys I watch pretty regularly and that post regularly. There are more other guys that I've watched too that are involved in trapping, but these particular guys help me a lot, and I get a lot of good information from their channels. Todd Whitmire, that's Todd's Backwoods Living. Todd runs a trap line, multi-species trap line. He catches everything: beaver, a little bit of water trapping, a little bit of land trapping, coyote, fox, bobcat. Caught some real nice bobcats recently, really nice bobcats. Next from him is the Port Royal Trappers. Shout out to some PA guys there. Those guys are really good too, give you a lot of good information, especially on trapping two species that are pretty tricky to catch in PA if you're not living in the right area. Of course, it's all by region. They done fisher trapping and bobcat trapping. Kirk McCutcheon, he's next. That's Trappers, Trails and Tails. Kirk is in Canada, and Kirk is a freaking dynamite trapper. Dynamite. He traps fisher, traps beaver, traps muskrat, traps otter. He does canine trapping. Kirk just traps everything. He gets some real good information from Kirk's channel. There's lots of videos up running lines, especially trapping beaver under ice, trapping otter under ice, marten, stuff like that. He runs a Canadian trap line. It's really good. Next down Midwest, Coon Creek Outdoors, Stu's channel. Stu's had a channel for quite a while. He has some excellent information on running a line, setting traps. Has really excellent information on fur handling, taking care of your furs, washing your furs, skinning, how to skin it properly, how to board it properly, how to basically, if you're going to sell your furs on a commercial fur market, how to get the most money for your fur that you possibly can. He's very knowledgeable, really good, really good. Jason Roberts, BC Newfie. Jason runs a trap line up in British Columbia. He does a lot of what we would consider wilderness trapping. Norm, Time on the Line, True North Living. He changed his channel name. Norm traps wolverine. I'm thinking this year he said he was going to bring some wolf traps, so he's going to try and get some wolf. He traps a lot of marten and stuff too, but his channel is more so dedicated to, you know, his time spent on his trap line, which is in Canada, northern Canada, up by Churchill Bay. Beautiful area, you know, again, wilderness trapping. He has a really good channel. Next down from them boys, Midwest again, Hoosier Trapper Outdoors. Those guys run a great line. Charlie and Hoosier Trapper Outdoors, they do really great videos, great instructional videos. They also own a trap line, trapping company, and they sell lures and anything you need for trapping, any sort of lures, anything like that you can get from those guys. They also do podcasts and stuff too. They're very involved in trapping and promoting trapping. Those are good guys. Another mention I'll give to another guy from PA who at the minute is trying to catch a bobcat, and I'm hoping he's successful because he posts videos on his channel every Thursday, trail camera pictures, and he's always getting photos of bobcats. So I'm hoping he gets to trap a bobcat. Really, it's a PA trophy. The Hunting Farmer as his channel. His good hunting and trapping and a lot of trail camera advice, and he's done videos too on making a tree saddle. Really good videos. Here goes my camera for the wind. Okay, last but not least, another new channel I've been following. If you can go over there and give him a few subs, he needs a few more subs to reach his 1,000 subs, so we can monetize this channel. Another guy from PA, Jakey Crack Outdoors. I'll try to put all these links in the comments down below, in the video description. I'll get my daughter to help me do that. That's not my department, but she's the YouTube whiz. I'll try to put links in if I can. Sometimes it lets me link. If they have over 1,000 subscribers, let me link it. But all these guys that, you know, give out good information and you know, try to help other people trapping. They help me trapping. They help me. They're going to be able to help you too. So just a shout out to those guys that you should go check some of those channels out. Okay, got a couple more dirt hole sets in. I put one hay set in. Now this is a completely different animal here. This is a weasel box that I've made. I've made a few of them, and if you watch my other trapping videos, I have tried for many seasons to catch a weasel, which is in my area is not a very common animal. They used to be more prolific years ago. I don't know why they declined. I talked to guys that hunted along, you know, and trapped, you know, 20-30 years ago, and they used to catch them all the time, but now you don't see hardly any. This box is made of pressure treated timber. I can't use body gripping sets outside of a waterway. So like I can't put a 110 converter in this because I'm going to put it next to the cabin here. There's always a lot of mice. There's a little rock basement on it. So there's always a lot of mice in and around here. So as you can see, I have the back side of it baited with a little muskrat foot. I have the trap attached to the box there. It's wired to the box. I have holes in the back so it gets sent out. And I have a small hole in the front that just big enough to let the weasel through. So when he jumps through, he steps on my Victor single spring there. That's an old trap. And then I have a lid for it, so if it snows or rains, keeps the entranceway covered for it. Now I have caught possums in these before, where the possum will get under the lid and stick his foot in the hole and try to reach in looking for the bait, and coons too. So you gotta watch that. But I just have a wire here to hold the lid down so they can't flip the lid open. Just wire it shut like that. That's good to go. So what I'm gonna do is put it in this little slot here. And we'll leave it sit there. You never know. All I've ever caught in them is mice. So we'll see what happens back at the truck. Don't let that sun fool you. It is really cold today. The wind is freaking brutal. But I have a few sets out now for canines. Predominantly I set for canines. I have one cage trap. I have one compass set. I have 2 or 3 dirt hole sets and then a hay set. So I put them in different areas, travel routes on the farm. And we'll see what happens. Even if we don't catch anything, my catch rate after Christmas is usually really low. Before Christmas or early trapping season, I'm always quite successful, especially on canines. I trap fox and stuff like that, no problem. But late season's always tough. I don't know why. So I keep trying every year. So even if we don't catch anything, I hope that some of the information I gave you was helpful to see, to help you in your trapping. It's always tough to find information. It's tough for me to find anybody here that actually traps. There's not a lot of guys around my area that trap. A lot of them hunt, but not a lot of them trap. They used to years and years ago and just gave it up. So it's not very prevalent in my area. There's a couple of older guys that tell me some stuff that try and lead me in the right direction. But most of my trapping knowledge has been gained through my own experience and watching guys on YouTube. Helped me a lot. So good luck to everybody trapping, and we'll see you on the next one.